The Purdue Boilermakers picked up 2 more wins last week, knocking off SIUE 100-58 on Thursday, and yesterday knocking off Indiana State 77-54, both games at Mackey Arena. The Boilermakers now 4-0 on the season, and Purdue will head to the road this week for the first time this season, playing 3 games in the Cancun Challenge, taking on Harvard on Thursday, Florida State on Friday, Oklahoma State on Saturday. All 3 of those games starting at 1:30 Eastern Time. Good evening, everybody, from Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. It is the Katie Gearlds Show. We're going to talk Boilermaker basketball with the head coach. You can follow along tonight on Facebook. We're on the Purdue Athletics Facebook page, and if you're there, let us know where you're watching from and if you have any questions for the coach. Along with Katie, a little bit later on in the show, we're going to hear from Cassidy Harden, who had a great game yesterday with 5 3-pointers and 18 points. But when we come back, we'll hear from the head coach. It's the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
7-6, Boilermakers lead. Out on the perimeter, that's Terry feeding it in, and Layden with the nice little cut, and Janae Terry's got her first assist of the day. And that's the first bucket this season and in an Indiana State uniform for the Canada native. Down there in the post, that's Learn, and she somehow gets it to fall. Here's Terry. Feed down into the post. Learn, strong inside, gets the finish for her second bucket of the day. As she is taking her career with the Sycamores off to a rocket start. And Madison Layden responds with the 3 of her own, only the second for the Boilermakers today. And the first look for the Sycamores off the mark. Here comes Janae Terry. Kicks it over to Petrie, and she sinks it from deep. Janae Terry, the no-look pass over to Layden. Layden down the middle, kicks it out to Harden, and she sinks it. Second made 3 of the second half for the Boilermakers. Deljanae Williams kicks it off to Ella Sawyer, a lot more involved earlier in this game. Here's Jayla Smith, gets the steal. Speed in transition, up and in. That is assist number 7 on the day. Some frustration from the Sycamores here. Terry heaves that one up, and Learn. Screen by Ellis there. Terry stuck, picked up her dribble, gets a pass into Petrie somehow, and the finish at the rim. Trying to put something together. That's Lalich going in, and can't convert. Woltman pulls down the rebound. Feed to Ellis. Tried the Euro and gets it to go.
297979.
You're listening to the Katie Gearlds Show on 95.3 Bob FM.
Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Everyone needs a little playing time, so before a Purdue basketball game or any time throughout the week, stop by Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Joined by the head coach. Katie, another good week, 2 wins. Let's start talking about that game on Thursday night over SIU Edwardsville. Not the best team you're going to play on your schedule, but I thought your team, for the most part, took care of business and was pretty efficient on Thursday.
Yeah, I thought we approached the game with some maturity. There in the first half, they locked into what we were trying to do and held them to 19 points in the first half. Yeah. And second half got a little sloppy. I think that's human nature, and just kind of challenge our team to take the next step to mature as a basketball club. And satisfied, pleased. We'll just keep moving on.
One of the things I think is going to be really important is for this team, for someone is going to be able to step up every night. And you had Abby Ellis, who has come off the bench now in your first 4 games, comes off the bench, plays 18 minutes, only takes 11 shots from the field, and still scores 29 points.
Yeah, and she didn't force anything. She was just really super efficient with it. I don't know if she comes off the bench or starts. I have no idea. I think that I like where we are right now, and as the season progresses, we'll just kind of fill that out and kind of talk to Abby about, kind of turn into what the Lakers have done with Russell Westbrook and bring him off the bench, and just kind of gives us a spark plug right now, and just got to get her healthy. I think her shoulder's still banged up and twisted her ankle on Friday in practice, so try to limit her minutes on Sunday. We got 3 games in 3 days, so.
You continue to shoot the basketball pretty well, and again, the nice thing about Thursday night, everybody got an opportunity to play. You didn't have to overtax anybody. I don't think anybody hit 30 minutes in that game, so you're able to stay fresh with a fairly quick turnaround on Sunday.
Yeah, you know, if we could keep everybody under 30 minutes, that's kind of the ideal world for us. Like that we can go 1 through 9 right now and just kind of give Lily and AP some opportunity to learn this level and the pace that you have to play every single day. But love our 1 through 9, love what they're doing, love their chemistry. I think our locker room is really healthy right now, and this group just kind of gets along. Excited to spend a few days in some warmer weather together to build on our team camaraderie and just keep building on our culture and what we're trying to do.
On Sunday, yesterday, you knocked off Indiana State, and I was really happy to see the Sycamores give you a challenge early on because I thought you needed somebody to come out and be a little bit physical and to see how your team responded, and I thought they responded pretty well.
Yeah, and you know, I think we got a couple of one of our practice guys over here. We need to get him to play a little bit tougher defense on us because we just weren't quite prepared for that that physical play, and we knew it was going to be like that, but I think they just kind of came out and punched us, and we played on our heels. I thought Madison was really, really tough, getting some fouls called off the ball and getting us to the free throw line when we were struggling to score. And then, you know, second, third, fourth quarter, we just kind of calmed down a little bit. Second half was much, much better, but defensively in the second, third quarter, I thought we were really special.
Yeah, and Jane Schott and I talked yesterday about the fact that when this team is really good and really rolling, the defense does lead to the offense, and you got a lot of fast break transition points. The nice thing is you've got some finishers now, like a Jayla Smith, Alacia Petrie, and Abby Ellis, who can go down in that fast break opportunity and score for you.
Yeah, and I thought, honestly, in the first half, the adjustment we tried to make with our group was get out in front of the basketball. You know, Abby and Alacia was in foul trouble earlier, but Abby and Jayla were pushing the ball in transition, and, you know, our shooters weren't running with her. And so it was just we were getting to the rim and not being able to have anybody kick. And I thought the second half we got out in front of the basketball with a little bit more urgency, and I think it showed on the very first possession. We get a stop. Mads gets the ball, kicks to JT. JT gets a cross-court pass to Alacia in the corner, and Alacia knocks it down and just kind of set the tone for the second half for us.
We talked after the game yesterday, and it's something I've heard you talk about. It's something I've heard Matt Painter talk about a lot. Young players especially tend to play through their offense and through their scoring, and when they're not doing either one of those things, they tend not to play well. Janae Terry yesterday did not score, but Janae had 12 assists, and I think she grabbed a bunch of rebounds, and she did a lot of things. She was plus 33 yesterday in the plus-minus.
Yeah, really special day. I think a tough first quarter for her. You know, for our basketball club, I didn't like it was chippy, and you know, we were struggling. I didn't like the way we looked at officials after every call. Didn't like the way we were looking at each other. At the end of the first quarter, the talk I had with them was like, "Come together, y'all!" Like, it's not going to be like this. We're getting ready to go on the road. It's just going to be us. We've got to come together in tough moments. And I thought Janae wore that really badly or poorly in the first quarter, and I told her that. And I thought the response she had in the second, third, fourth quarter was just tremendous. If, you know, she had 12 assists and 2 turnovers. Yep. We challenged her in the offseason not to turn the ball over as much, and she's doing such a good job of kicking it up when she sees people in front of her, and it's translating to some really easy buckets for us.
All right, we're coming to you from Walk-Ons in West Lafayette. We'll have more of the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Oh, reverse, heading the other way. This is Tracy. Tyrone Tracy. Still going. Wow, that's a gain of 17 on second and 20. Gain of 19 for Lewis. They give it to him again to the 15. Last time they did this, Mike Allstott was in the backfield. Second down and 6. O'Connell to throw. Maybe. Gets it out of there. Caught. Jones. Touchdown. O'Connell to Jones one more time.
You're going to see you're not going to see it, but on the right side of your screen, you got Charlie Jones. He runs a bench route, and the DB falls down, so he's open right now, but O'Connell's looking the other way, surprisingly, and then he finds him, and the reason he's so wide open because he was still on.
Third down and 11. Movement on the line, and a flag comes down. This is going to be a free play for Purdue. And caught by Durham. Out across the 50 to the 45. throw it. Tight end Durham. Touchdown, Purdue.
Northwestern has what they want. They have two guys to stop this play, but they both come across the line of scrimmage, and Durham is leaking out. But the middle is soft. That's where the passing game can have success for Northwestern.
Freeman looked like a design quarterback run, had it ripped away. Purdue's got the football. Cam Allen comes up with the fumble recovery. They need to get to the 49.
Quick screen outside, I would imagine. They don't have the numbers for the draw.
Freeman lost the ball. And Northwestern retains possession.
The road this week for the Cancun Challenge. Brian Jennings is going to be heading down with the team. We're going to have all three games here on Bob FM. All three games will tip off at about 1:30 Eastern time, so he'll be on the air somewhere around 1:15. We'll talk a little bit later on in the show about the three teams that you're going to be playing, but your first chance to come together and, first of all, get some great weather, but second, really spend some time together. And I've always believed a basketball season really doesn't start until you have your first road trip.
Yeah, and you know, last year early we were on the road quite a bit and learned a little bit about our basketball club. But you know, first trip to some, you know, so with this group, you know, bus leaves at 6:30 in the morning tomorrow, and
that I won't miss.
Yeah, but by whenever we get to Cancun and we're looking at 85-degree weather,
that I will
excited for this.
A couple of players that I think we've seen the versatility. One, Caitlin Harper, and we saw Caitlin in the first game you played this season. Well, in the exhibition game, she was pretty much inside. And then first game, she comes out, hits a couple shots. But she showed us yesterday, even though she wasn't getting a lot of touches and a lot of activity, she's got some versatility to put the ball on the floor when people fly out at her, and really can help you make defenses play more honestly.
Yeah, she, you know, I think she showed us a little bit more her ability to put the ball on the floor. She's done it in practice, but just to do it in the moment. You know, we did a poor job of giving her some space in the first half, and we didn't even throw her the basketball, and those are points we needed. And I thought the second half our spacing was a little bit better, and we gave her some time to operate. And she finishes with 6 points, but you know, you're gonna talk with Cass later, and Cass doesn't get those looks if she's not dominating the paint like she has been. And you can't guard her one-on-one. She's too patient. She's too skilled and crafty. But her ability to put the ball on the floor from the three-point line was a pretty cool sight for us.
I thought Ricky Waltman was probably more active yesterday than she was in the first three games offensively.
Yeah, I thought Ricky was that was Ricky's first game that she had played really, really well for us. Not that she had played poorly. I thought she's done a decent job of backing up Caitlin. But when Caitlin was struggling, I thought Ricky came in and she rebounded the ball well out of her area, contested some shots, and her and Ava did a really good job playing off of each other there in the first half when we were struggling to get buckets. And you know, we're still trying to figure out, you know, those two played opposite of each other, and we played Ava at the 5 last year. So trying to figure out how does that go, and how do we get those two comfortable playing with each other. And Ava didn't practice all summer. Ava started practicing the first, you know, week of right before games, and so a little bit of grace and trying to figure out how those two fit together, and I think we're kind of finding our niche and how they can be successful on the court for us.
We talked in the last segment about wondering how your team would handle a little bit of adversity, which I thought they did pretty well yesterday. It was interesting to watch Jayla Smith in yesterday's game. Jayla did everything pretty well except at the free throw line, and you can tell when a kid's thinking too much. Right now, she's thinking too much at the free throw line.
Yeah, you know, we struggled shooting it from the free throw line this week, Sunday and Thursday, and I look at our ball club and we're not. I'm like, I never ever think we're gonna get up to the line and miss free throws. I feel really confident about us getting up at the line and making shots. I mean, we line them up on a baseline. Somebody gets up that makes 2, they don't have to run. I mean, we'll go all the way down the line and nobody's running just because they're confident in their ability. And for whatever reason, Jay just had a tough night, but you know, didn't stop her from playing really, really hard. And I think that's a maturity level we talked about. Jayla just taking that next step. And she's funny. I was getting a pedicure today, and she walked in the same place, and I was like, how many free throws you going to miss? She's like, nah, I'm going to make them all. And just a really good kid that can joke about it and laugh about it, but she'll be just fine.
It was interesting. I saw her get a steal yesterday. She went coast to coast, and she made darn sure she made the layup just in case that free throw. She was going to get some points out of that one way or the other.
Yeah, I wish she would have gotten back to the line. Jayla can shoot free throws.
Yep.
She's a good shooter. Just tough night.
Don't think so much.
Yeah, don't think, just shoot.
Here's a transition. Here's somebody. We're going to have somebody on next who thinks a lot because she's done a great job here in her Purdue academic career, and she's going to be Dr. Harden someday. So when we come back, we're going to talk to Cassidy Harden. It's the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network. And this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
Getting you
Here at Purdue, a lot of people come back to games.
They like the program. They like the kind of kids they have. That's who
He just absolutely hammers.
What a nice call, too, out of the baseline, out of bounds. Atmosphere for college basketball. But look at this little duck-in seal. And now they're caught between, should we attack or should we go inside? Good settle here.
Edie's been waiting for the ball for 2 possessions.
Absolutely. This area, you are dead on delivery. And right here, goal no matter what he does. That's number 4, if I'm not mistaken, by goal. And late in the shot clock, got to get something going.
Jenkins, late, drives, stop and pop, got it for 2.
Oh, he split beautifully, didn't he? Well traveled, but here just a little split, little crossover, depth delivery.
And Emma Ellis gets another kill. Had a career-high 27 digs against the Boilermakers in the 2021 season. Balanceifer puts it down herself. Not bad for a 5'10 setter.
Shows you the strength of this Boilermaker team. Maddie Chin, the senior, over there to give Hudson some words of encouragement.
Balanceifer. Ellis on the right side, and the Boilers get the point. So I'm sure it'll be a nice reunion after senior night festivities are over tonight. Chin puts it down in the face of Humphrey. That's not a nice welcome back, but it'll suffice. Goes back to serve. Hudson with the back row attack, and she gets the kill. 22 all, and this crowd needs to make some noise for their team. Push to the left side. Emma Ellis gets the point. They're going to say the ball was in.
Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Lafayette Limo, family-owned, women-owned, serving Greater Lafayette for over 33 years. Shuttles to and from Indianapolis and O'Hare airports 365 days a year. Make your reservations now at LafayetteLimo.com. Lafayette Limo, proud sponsor of Purdue Athletics. We are joined by Cassidy Harden from Bargersville, Indiana. Decided to put off medical school for another year because she loves playing basketball at Purdue. That's a pretty accurate statement, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Was the decision a hard one? Because you could have started you could have been on your way to your medical career at this point, but you wanted to stay. What factors went into it for you?
I would say it wasn't a hard decision. I mean, obviously my plan all through college had been to go for 4 years, get my degree, and then go to medical school. And I knew that, that was the right path for me, and that's what I was going to do with my life. So changing that course very quickly after Coach Gearlds became the coach here was kind of scary in a way, just because it was different than what I had planned for a long time. But I would say that it was kind of a no-brainer after Coach Gearlds took over and how the year went last year and just how much I believed in this team and wanted to make an NCAA tournament.
Well, and that's the one thing that you don't have on your resume that I know you'd like to have before you leave, and that is a chance to play in March Madness.
Absolutely. I think we've been close a few years, and that's one thing that I really want to do, and I think this team can do it.
The path to becoming a doctor probably comes pretty naturally to you. Your dad is an orthopedic surgeon. At what age did you say I would like to follow in his footsteps?
I think I started shadowing him in the surgery room at like 12, which was pretty young, and I took a liking to it really quickly and was able to do it multiple times over the years and do an internship at his practice my senior year, shadowing one of his anesthesiologists. So I would say I've known for a long time that was what I was going to do with my life, and I didn't really consider much else.
So anesthesiology is what you plan to go into. Is that still the path, or are you thinking about that?
That's still what I've planned on for now, but I know that once I get in medical school, I'll be rotating through all different kinds of professions, and maybe something else catches my eye and I enjoy it more. But right now, anesthesiology.
I'm going to go on a limb here and say a lot of 12-year-olds would not enjoy seeing someone get cut open. Did you have to get over that, or was that ever a problem for you as you were in the operating room?
I think initially it was kind of a shock to me, just because, like you said, like who sees that at 12? And I think that I got over it pretty quickly and was able to watch more and get more used to it, and realized that I actually thought it was kind of cool.
Sports have been a big part of the Harden family. You had, if I remember right, a bowling alley in your house?
Yes.
Still, is that still there? Or
yes, it is.
You still compete? Who's the best bowler in the family?
You know, it changes on any given day. I like to think I'm pretty good.
So in other words, she's the best. She just didn't want to say she's the best bowler.
I'll give my brother some credit. He's not bad.
All right. And you also have a basketball court, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you've been able to practice this three-point shooting that you've been doing for quite some time.
Yeah, lots of shots up on that goal.
Did you get a lot of help with your shot when you were growing up, or was it something you just kind of found on your own?
I think from when I started playing AAU, I quickly became a shooter, if that's what you call it when you're young. Where I, was just taking a lot of shots, and then I just practiced a lot in the gym with my dad, and just kind of the repetition and knowing that that's kind of the type of player that I wanted to be. I wanted to be a threat from the outside. Just over time, it kind of became what it is, and the rest is history.
I think a lot of people don't know that Cassidy Harden was also a two-time All-State tennis player, and in fact won a state doubles championship. When did you pick up the racket for the first time?
I think I started playing tennis before I started playing basketball because my mom played tennis. And that's kind of something I've always done on the side. I never really considered doing it, full-time or going to college for tennis. It was more basketball, and then I played tennis to do something else and kind of move the different muscles from tennis.
Those tennis and golf things are pretty good when you get past your 30s and 40s. You can keep playing those for a long time. So I would urge you to continue, because at some point, the basketball shoes get a little creaky.
Yeah, I definitely plan on picking up the racket again.
All right, we'll have more with Cassidy Harden when we come back. It is the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network. And this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
There's more to this game.
Here at Purdue, a lot of people come back to games.
They like the program. They like the kind of kids they have.
He just absolutely hammers.
What a nice call, too, out of the baseline, out of bounds. Atmosphere for college basketball. But look at this little duck-in seal. Another court between, should we attack or should we go inside? Good settle here.
Edie's been waiting for the ball for two possessions.
Absolutely. This area, you are dead on delivery. And right here, goal, no matter what he does. That's number 4, if I'm not mistaken, by goal. And late in the shot clock, got to get something going.
Jenkins, late, drives, stop and pop, got it for 2.
Oh, he split beautifully, didn't he? Well traveled, but here, just a little split, a little crossover, dead delivery.
And Emma Ellis gets another kill. Had a career-high 27 digs against the Boilermakers in the 2021 season. Balanceifer puts it down herself. Not bad for a 5'10" setter.
Shows you the strength of this Boilermaker team. Maddie Chin, the senior, over there to give Hudson some words of encouragement.
Balanceifer. Ellis on the right side, and the Boilers get the point. So I'm sure it'll be a nice reunion after senior night festivities are over tonight. Chin puts it down in the face of Humphrey. That's not a nice welcome back, but it'll suffice. Goes back to serve. Hudson with the back row attack, and she gets the kill. 22 all, and this crowd needs to make some noise for their team. Push to the left side. Emma Ellis gets the point. They're going to say the ball was in.
It's time for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Both our Pro Boilers and Indiana Kitchen are boiler made. Sam Osterello playing for Ragusa in Italy. Her team lost 78-75 to fall to 8-4 on the season, but Sam had 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in 19 minutes. She's averaging better than 7 points and 6 rebounds a game. Andriana Keys, her team had a tough week in Poland playing for Polonia Warsaw. They lost 99-65 to fall to 2-4, and she had just 6 points, but she's still averaging 11 points and 6 rebounds a game. And finally, Aya Traore playing for St. Joseph in Spain. Her team won 71-59 to go to 4-3, and she had a great game. 21 points and 14 rebounds in 33 minutes, and Aya is averaging almost 13 points and better than 9 rebounds a game. Cassidy Harden is with us now, and the Boilermakers are going to head out for Cancun tomorrow. Have you been to Cancun before?
I have not, so I'm really excited.
Really excited to get into the warm weather. When you play, and I assume you're playing in a ballroom, I believe, in one of the hotels there. Have you've played in those kinds of situations before, haven't you? Or I can't remember where we've been in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I think so. I know we've been to the Virgin Islands. That was kind of similar. And then I think St. Pete and Fort Myers.
78 three-pointers last season, but I think the thing that I'll remember about you the last year was on the defensive end, because you got to guard a lot of big players. What was that like, and what did you learn from that you can pull into this year?
Yeah, it was definitely different than what my role here had been previously. But high school, I was one of the tallest players on my team, so I kind of had to guard people bigger than me in high school. And then once I got to college, I didn't have to do that to start, but last year doing it again, I think being in the weight room a lot with Jason, and that really helped me a lot, really compete with them just from a strength standpoint, even though I was undersized.
You talked to me in the break and said you were talking about feeling a little bit old. You have to spend a little time in the training room, which happens as you get older. No, I understand you like Mike and Ike's. You might be the youngest person I've ever heard who said they like Mike and Ike's. Where did that start?
I think my mom really liked them growing up and always had a bag around, and so I just kept stealing from her, and then it just became my favorite candy.
Well, there you go. That's a good thing to do. Let's talk about getting ready for medical school. What kinds of courses are you taking now? And give us an idea. Once the basketball is done and you start medical school, what will your progression be?
So I wanted to take some, easier courses to kind of lighten the load a little bit from my past 4 years, but also take some that are applicable and will help me be more prepared next year when I start medical school. So, I've got microbiology, I've got osteology. It sounds weird, but I'm taking a street drug class, so I'm learning about different prescription drugs, and then I'm also I took golf and personal finance class.
Transferable skills, very important.
Yeah, so just some non-science classes to kind of give me something else.
So when you start medical school, how long is the actual school? When do you get into residencies? How does that all work?
So I think it'll start beginning of August, and I'll go. The first 2 years are more of a classroom setting, school-wise, and then the third and fourth year will be more clinical rotations, year-round, and figuring out what of residencies you want to apply for. And then after those 4 years are done, I'll have hopefully gotten into a residency, and depending on which specialty I pick, depends on the length of the residency. So if I stick with anesthesiology, I think that'll be a 4-year residency after I finish medical school. And then if I choose to do a fellowship, I could do even more school, or I could just start practicing.
Summarize for me in a few seconds, 5 years at Purdue. What are you going to take away from this experience?
I think I learned a lot about leadership and communication. I think I came in a little shy and wasn't good with talking to people I wasn't comfortable with, and just meeting all the people I have here, and also just learning people from different backgrounds, and just being exposed to people that are different than myself. I think that's really going to help me when I start working in the medical field and treating patients.
Well, with more than 3 decades on this job, I can tell you I'm really proud of what Purdue basketball has achieved on the floor, but it's people like Cassidy Harden that have you excited about what they do after basketball. Cassidy, congratulations on a great career. Have a great super senior season, and we look forward to seeing you in that white lab coat here before too long.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to be back with the head coach after this. It's the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network. And this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
We Boilermaker.
7-6, Boilermakers lead. Out on the perimeter, that's Terry feeding it in, and Layden with the nice little cut, and Janae Terry's got her first assist of the day. And that's the first bucket this season and in an Indiana State uniform for the Canada native. Down there in the post, that's Learn, and she somehow gets it to fall. Here's Terry. Feed down into the post. Learn, strong inside, gets the finish for her second bucket of the day. As she is taking her career with the Sycamores off to a rocket start. And Madison Layden responds with the three of her own, only the second for the Boilermakers today. And the first look for the Sycamores off the mark. Here comes Janae Terry. Kicks it over to Petrie, and she sinks it from deep. Janae Terry, the no-look pass over to Layden. Layden down the middle, kicks it out to Harden, and she sinks it. Second made three of the second half for the Boilermakers. Deljanae Williams kicks it off to Ella Sawyer, a lot more involved earlier in this game. Here's Jayla Smith, gets the steal. Speed in transition, up and in. That is assist number 7 on the day. Some frustration from the Sycamores here. Terry heaves that one up, and Learn, screen by Ellis there. Terry stuck, picked up her dribble, gets a pass into Petrie somehow, and the finish at the rim. Trying to put something together. That's Lalich going in and can't convert. Woltman pulls down the rebound. Feed to Ellis. Tried the Euro and gets it to go.
To the Katie Gearlds Show on 95.3 Bob FM.
Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Purdue Global is Purdue's accredited and affordable online solution for working adults. Persistence pays off at Purdue Global. The Boilermakers 3 games this week, but before we talk basketball, let's talk schedules. You leave tomorrow out of Chicago, fly down to Cancun. You don't play until Thursday, so how will you spend the days, and what will you do away from the basketball court in these few days that you have down there?
Yeah, so we'll get down there. We'll go to the gym tomorrow night when we get there. It's about a 4-hour flight. So we'll go to the gym in the evening after dinner and film. I think we have the court for an hour. The next morning, I think we will have breakfast. I think practice is a little bit later. We have the court for an hour. There's some kind of team activity. I put it on my apps. I told Kerb, you're in charge. I just want to coach basketball. I don't want to make any of those decisions. So I trust.
So you'll be surprised too.
I will be. I think we all will be. But I trust her. Coached her for 4 years, and I think she knows. What it looks like, what it should look like. So excited to spend that those couple days with our team before we start up on Thursday.
One of the nice things about this tournament, and we've talked about this before, you try to do things that prepare you for late in the season. You're going to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Win or lose, you play all 3 games at the same time, and that hopefully will get you ready for the Big Ten tournament later this year.
The reason why we're playing 3 games in 3 days is because we want to make sure we're playing at least 3 games in 3 days in March.
We got a question here from John in Pennsylvania. Wants to know if you're going to be able to watch the Old Oak and Bucket game. Now, you play it Saturday at 1:30. Your game should be over by then, so I don't know what your plans are afterward. Are you going to be able to get together and watch that? Yeah,
I think actually last year when we were in Florida, we pulled it up on our phones or an iPad on the beach, and we were able to watch the game. So I promise we'll find a way to watch the game, but I imagine we'll be somewhere outside with the sun shining on us.
In a tropical location somewhere. Ira from Wisconsin loved the second half defensive intensity yesterday, and I think you did too. And you've mentioned it a lot of times after the games. The offense is fine, and some nights you're going to shoot well, and some nights you're not. Defense travels, and in order for this team to get to its goals this year, it has to be consistent defensively.
Yeah, and I think we're making progress. I think we've got a little bit more understanding of why we're doing things. We kind of broke things down a little bit after the Marshall game, just trying to get them to understand the why. And I think it started to click a little bit. I thought second half, you got to kind of a look into the future of what it's supposed to look like for us, and it's hard. The way we want to play defense. I mean, it takes a lot of effort. We want to fly around and create some chaos, and I thought in the second half we did it. We made it really tough for Indiana State.
Cleve said it was fun to watch the speed down the court. We've talked about that. Again, when this team can get transition baskets and get to the free throw line, it's going to offset any nights that they're not able to shoot the ball very well.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that Laisha and Jayla and Abby do such a good job for us in transition. Those are three really, really athletic, quick players who can get up and down the floor. I mean, I feel like Laisha just kind of floats down the floor, and Jayla's probably our most athletic player, and Abby is Abby, right? And so those guys getting out in transition and run the floor hard allows Mads and Cass to really pick and choose their opportunities. And then Caitlin in the trail. I mean, she can trail and shoot the three, so kind of puts their five in a little bit of a pickle there. But those three in transition, and when Janae is willing to push the ball up, and I think we just get a paint touch, and it'll give us an opportunity to get a good bucket.
Sheila and Brianne wishing you good luck in Cancun. You mentioned Janae Terry a minute ago. Right now in the Big Ten, we're only 2 weeks in. She's number 3 in the conference in rebounds and number 1 in assists. And that it's a unique skill set that she brings to the floor. And again, doesn't have to score a lot, but she has to set people up and she has to go to the boards. And she's done a great job so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get the assists. We got a lot of scorers around her, and so just the way we play, naturally she's gonna pack those assists up. And we challenge her all the time. She's got to get in there and rebound for us. We start Caitlin and Cass inside, and so Janae, Mads, and Laisha, they've got to do a better job of rebounding the basketball. I feel like we challenge them all the time. Like, our guards have to be our best rebounders. Ava and Ricky come in and give us a little bit more size and athleticism there, but our guards and Janae has kind of taken some pride in that, and on both ends of the floor, and hopefully she continues to do that.
All right, we'll have more in 2 minutes on the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
We Boilermaker.
Reverse, heading the other way. This is Tracy. Tyrone Tracy. Still going. Wow, that's a gain of 17 on second and 20. Gain of 19 for Lewis. They give it to him again, to the 15. Last time they did this, Mike Allstott was in the backfield. Second down and 6. O'Connell to throw. Maybe. Gets it out of there. Caught. Jones. Touchdown. O'Connell to Jones one more time.
You're going to see you're not going to see it, but on the right side of your screen, you got Charlie Jones. He runs a bench route, and the DB falls down, so he's open right now. But O'Connell's looking the other way, surprisingly, and then he finds him. And the reason he's so wide open because he was still on.
Third down and 11. Movement on the line, and a flag comes down. This is going to be a free play for Purdue, and caught by Durham. Out across the 50 to the 45. Want to throw it. Tight end Durham. Touchdown, Purdue.
Northwestern has what they want. They have 2 guys to stop this play, but they both come across the line of scrimmage, and Durham is leaking out. But the middle is soft. That's where the passing game can have success for Northwestern.
Freeman looked like a design quarterback. Wrong, had it ripped away. Purdue's got the football. Cam Allen comes up with the fumble recovery. They need to get to the 49.
Quick screen outside, I would imagine. They don't have the numbers for the draw.
Freeman lost the ball. And Northwestern retains possession.
Every Everyone needs a little playing time, so before a Purdue basketball game or any time throughout the week, stop by Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. All right, I got to ask a couple of questions before we get into the games, and you know it's like 50 minutes into the show, and I haven't asked you about the technical foul you picked up, so I have to ask you because I was told to ask you.
Okay.
And I saw it. I mean, I was probably as befuddled as you were.
Did I swear?
You did not. In that instance, you did not.
I did not in that instance. That's a good way to put it. Was I yelling the entire game?
You were not.
I wasn't. I wish I would have actually earned that one. I had a few at Marion. I actually earned. They felt good. This one did not.
You felt like you got shortchanged.
I did. My first one here, I feel like I should have said something or done something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say unless the Big Ten is going to step on me, but I did not.
Yeah. No, I understand. I just, I thought maybe there was an inside story that we didn't get, but I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything, so I'm sticking up for you here.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Mom, Dad, you hear that?
I'm with
hope you're
you.
listening.
I'll be a witness for you.
I didn't swear.
The Gearlds household, what was the go-to Thanksgiving dish? You got that coming up this week.
Oh, man, green bean casserole for me. I love a green bean casserole, and nobody else did, so I got the whole pan. Yeah, that was my dish.
Will you have an opportunity to have a big dinner? I mean, because you play Thanksgiving and the day after, so how will you set that up?
Yeah, we actually have a Thanksgiving meal planned Saturday evening.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll make sure we take advantage of that.
Let's talk a little bit about your opponents, starting with Harvard. Harvard is 2-1, but Harvard has a win already this year over Boston College.
Mm-hmm. They're playing right now. I think they're up 20. I just looked at the score, up 20 before half. They've got. They're going to space this out, a lot of 5-outs. They have one kid on their roster who doesn't shoot the three. Everybody else shoots it. Everybody else drives it. So we're going to have to be very disciplined guarding the basketball, keeping the ball in the paint, and contesting shooters. I like the idea of pounding the ball inside against their littles. So hopefully Caitlin and Ricky can have a big game for us. Got to take care of the basketball. They're going to pressure us. A lot of really good athletes who just want to score the basketball. So we got to make sure we're disciplined and taking care of it.
The middle team is Florida State. Florida State is 5-0, and they have one of the nation's top freshmen, Tanaya Latson from Miami, averaging almost 27 points a game, shooting 50% from three-point range, and she was rated by some as the top shooting guard to come out of her class this year.
Yeah, I know I don't look ahead, but I've actually watched them. I watch them live throughout the year, and she can go. A lot of things go through her hands. They got a couple bigs inside who rebound the heck out of the basketball. A little bit different than what we played last year. Last year they played two bigs together quite a bit, and that's kind of really where we saw Cass's impact on the defensive end, guarding some bigs for us. But they play a little bit smaller than they did last year. But the little freshman kid she can flat out score it. So we'll have to be locked in and engaged and make sure we're cleaning up everything on the defensive glass.
Then your final game on Saturday, Oklahoma State, a team that's 4-1 this year. They've been trying to rebuild that Cowgirl program, which has been a very good program over the years. They have a new coach in J.C. Hoyt, and we'll see what they come up with. It'll be their third game in 3 days as well as yours.
Yeah, I mean, she brings a lot of energy to that club. Watched a little bit of them this morning. I feel like they're kind of similar to where we are, maybe just a little bit more athletic on the perimeter, but third game in 3 days. Who's got the deeper bench? Who's got the fresher legs? And we'll see what happens.
All right, we're going to have our final segment of the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. After this, on the Purdue Global Sports Network, this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Here at Purdue, a lot of people come back to games.
They like the program. They like the kind of kids they have.
Just absolutely hammers.
What a nice call, too, out of the baseline, out of bounds. Atmosphere for college basketball. But look at this little duck-in seal. And now we're caught between, should we attack or should we go inside? Good settle here.
Edie's been waiting for the ball for 2 possessions.
Absolutely. This area, you are dead on delivery. And right here, goal, no matter what he does. That's number 4, if I'm not mistaken, by goal. And late in the shot clock, got to get something going.
Jenkins, late, drives, stop and pop, got it for 2.
Oh, he split beautifully, didn't he? Well traveled, but here just a little split, little crossover, delivery.
Emma Ellis gets another kill. Had a career-high 27 digs against the Boilermakers in the 2021 season. Balanceifer puts it down herself. Not bad for a 5'10 setter.
Shows you the strength of this Boilermaker team. Maddie Chin, the senior, over there to give Hudson some words of encouragement.
Balanceifer. Ellis on the right side, and the Boilers get the point. So I'm sure it'll be a nice reunion after senior night festivities are over tonight. Chin puts it down in the face of Humphrey. That's not a nice welcome back, but it'll suffice. Goes back to serve. Hudson with the back row attack, and she gets the kill. 22 all, and this crowd needs to make some noise for their team. Push to the left side. Emma Ellis gets the point. They're going to say the ball was in.
Bob FM.
This week's game plan is presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union, home of the official credit union for Purdue fans. Learn more about their products and services at purduefed.com. One of the things I know from being around every coach I've been around, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier, you're playing 3 games in 3 days, but right now all of your focus is on Harvard. And you really, I would assume, have to play this like a tournament, like a one-and-done tournament, because you want to make sure that you focus on each game every day.
Yeah. Obviously we gotta make sure we take care of business with Harvard, and we'll spend the next 2 days prepping for them. And then, whatever happens Thursday night, we'll start talking about Florida State, but we won't move on to those guys until we finish Harvard.
We got a boiler up from Kokomo on Facebook. Ed wants to know if you were concerned about the high number of turnovers in the game against, I assume that's Indiana State. Your turnovers, at times they've come in streaks, but they haven't seemed to be a huge problem so far.
Not so far. I think we're going to turn the ball over because of the pace we want to play. So we're gonna turn it over. I think we had 11 at half against Indiana State and finished with 18, so 7 in the second half. A little bit better, taking care of the basketball. Did a really good job against SIUE, taking care of it. It's going to happen. I think that one thing that we kind of preach is the live ball turnovers. We want to limit our live ball turnovers. Right. As long as if we turn it over, as long as we're making sure that they're taking the ball out of bounds and we can get our defense set, then we're okay.
We also saw a little bit of zone this week. You told us you're going to break it out a little bit. What did you think of how you played that?
It was okay. I think that the one possession we threw on Indiana State, I think we played defense perfectly for about 28 seconds, and then we just kind of relaxed, and the kids hits 3 there in the fourth quarter. And we went big with Ricky and Caitlin in, and they had some littles out there, so just kind of wanted to give them a break of having to guard a guard on the perimeter and see what it looked like. And I thought it looked really, really good for about 28 seconds, and then we kind of relaxed, and the kid hits.
Well, and with 3 games coming in 3 days, not saying you're going to play a ton of zone, but you might go a possession or 2 just to get a breather.
Yeah, and honestly, we probably should have done it a little bit against SIUE just to kind of like slow some pace down, and maybe against Marshall. But we haven't practiced it much. We're trying so hard to get our base defensively down man-to-man, and I think it's finally kind of making sense to us. So as the season goes on, we'll progress, but it'll be out of a timeout, out after quarters, maybe stop a run kind of thing. But that's not who we are. It's not who I am, and I'm not sure I can play a lot of zone.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and the team. Good luck down in Cancun, and we'll be listening on Thursday.
All right, happy Thanksgiving, Tim. Go Bills Thursday.
How about boiler? Let's do boiler. Go.
Right.
Let's do a boiler up.
Right,
Thanks to Wes Scott, Roger Forsyth producing for us tonight. Hunter Massengill on videos. Again, the Boilermakers against Harvard Thursday, 1:15. Brian Jennings on the call. For Cassidy Harden and for the head coach, I'm Tim Newton. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Good night, everybody.